The universe's substance is inherently pliant, yielding to the rational essence that governs it. This essence, which directs the cosmos, is devoid of malice. It cannot produce evil, nor can it cause harm. All things within it proceed by its will, aligning perfectly with the order it prescribes. Be unaffected by external conditions, whether you feel chilled or warm, whether you rise from deep sleep or mere slumber, whether you are criticized or praised. Even in moments of nearing death or in the pursuit of other tasks, understand that to die is simply another duty among the many actions that form the total of your life's labors. Look inward, and do not allow the intrinsic value or nature of anything to pass by you without fully grasping it. All forms soon change and are either dissolved into air or return to their elements. Whether all things rejoin into a single essence or disperse, the rational essence that governs understands both its purpose and the means at its disposal. We, lacking such insight, are left to marvel at what we do not understand. The noblest revenge is to refuse to become like the offender. Let your chief solace and joy be to move steadily from one virtuous action to the next, keeping the divine ever in mind. The rational, commanding part of you has the unique power to direct itself. It alone can shape its perspective, interpreting events and actions according to its own nature. All things particular align with the universe's nature, existing not from an isolated cause, but as part of an intricate system. If the world is merely a chaotic mix, destined one day to dissolve, then why seek to endure in confusion? Why should one strive to please the divine? For regardless, dispersion is inevitable. But if the universe is governed by a mindful providence, then your faith is not in vain. In patience and trust, accept the governance of this universal mind. When troubled by events, swiftly regain your inner balance. Train yourself to return to a state of harmony as soon as possible, for this habit will prepare you to retain composure under future strains. Consider how you would relate to a stepmother versus your own mother. You would respect the stepmother, yet continually seek the comfort of your true mother. Similarly, let philosophy be your true refuge. Frequently return to it, taking solace in that which makes other pursuits bearable and yourself more tolerable to others. What utility lies in seeing things as they truly are? A fish is but the carcass of a creature, wine merely the fermented juice of grapes, a purple robe no more than wool stained by a shellfish's dye. Physical desires are merely bodily responses, brief and ordinary. Such stark views help us see past the superficial and unmask the inherent triviality of things. Keep this perspective always, particularly when something seems important or prestigious. Outward displays easily deceive, often most so when our tasks seem grave and consequential. Reflect on what Crates observed about Xenocrates. People commonly admire the mundane, like stones, wood, or fruit. Those with greater restraint might value animated things, such as livestock. The refined may appreciate the intellect of rational beings, not merely because they are rational, but for their skill or inventiveness, or for the possession of others under their command. But one who truly honors reason esteems a rational soul itself, with little concern for externals. He tends to his mind in the continual exercise of reason and sociability, aligning with the divine from which he partakes. Some things hasten into existence while others quickly fade. Whatever exists, some part of it has already begun to perish. The continuous cycle of change renews the world, and time's progression creates a perpetual sense of freshness in an otherwise eternal world. Given this constant flux, what among these fleeting things deserves our attachment? Since there's nothing that remains fixed, one might as well try to hold on to a bird that flits in and out of sight. Think of life as an exhalation of breath, a single, brief moment inhaled and then released. The true aim of life is not the sustenance of mere vegetative functions, which plants also have, nor merely the senses, which even animals possess. It is not merely imagination, nor the appetites, nor the ability to gather and live in communities, nor to feed and digest. Each of these only a necessary process for survival. Instead, cherish the pursuit of living in alignment with your nature, and focus on actions that respect this principle. If this internal harmony prevails, then let other pursuits be secondary. But if you find yourself concerned with external matters, you lose control, subject to envy, jealousy, and suspicion, always fearing that others will take what you desire. In honoring your rational mind, you become agreeable to yourself, others, and the divine, willing to accept whatever providence assigns. The elemental motions, above, below, and around, are merely physical movements, while virtue's movement is of a higher nature, elevated beyond comprehension. Consider how some disregard the opinions of those with whom they live, yet eagerly crave the praise of future generations they will never meet. Such a concern is like fretting over the opinions of the long deceased. Do not assume something is beyond your reach, just because it is difficult. Whatever is achievable by another human being is, with effort, also possible for you. If injured in a wrestling match, you would defend yourself calmly, bearing no lasting resentment. Life's challenges demand similar composure. Many confrontations can be met without anger, sidestepping conflict peacefully. If someone corrects me, demonstrating that my beliefs or actions are mistaken, I will joyfully adjust, for seeking truth is my goal. Error harms, but truth does not. I will perform my duties without becoming perturbed by things insensible, irrational, or misguided. I approach irrational beings with detachment, as nature intends, while treating rational beings as social equals. And in all I do, I call upon the gods, indifferent to the length of time granted for this service, for a brief span can fulfill the purpose of a lifetime. Alexander the Great and his mule driver, once dead, share a common fate. Both dispersed into atoms, or both return to the same source. Reflect on the countless processes occurring within each person at any moment, both bodily and mental. How much more must occur in the vast expanse of the universe, with every element seamlessly interwoven. Imagine being asked to spell the name Antoninus. Would you not focus on each letter, one at a time, without being distracted by interruptions? Similarly, each duty in life contains its own necessary steps, which we must follow diligently to reach the intended end, ignoring distractions along the way. Is it not harsh to deny people the freedom to pursue what they believe aligns best with their nature? What they feel leads to their own true well-being. Yet, in a sense, when you grow angry at others for their errors, you deny them this very liberty. They gravitate towards such behaviors as if they were essential to their own advantage. But you may object. It is not truly beneficial. Therefore, instruct them patiently. Show them the way without falling into anger. Death is simply the cessation of sensory impressions, a release from the tyrannies of passion, the illusions of the mind, and the burdens of the body. If your body endures the trials of life, should your soul, the seat of strength, falter, beware lest you transform from a philosopher into a mere figure of worldly power, and adopt the inclinations of the court. To avoid this, remain steadfastly simple, sincere, restrained, free from pretense, and devoted to justice. Let your heart be compassionate, tender, and resilient enough to bear whatever befalls you. Continue to embody the virtues that true philosophy nurtures. Revere the gods, and work for the welfare of others. For life is fleeting, and acts of kindness and a pure disposition are the true fruits of our time on earth. In all things, act as a true disciple of Antoninus Pius. Remember his steady adherence to reason, his calm demeanor, his reverent nature, the warmth of his expression, and his utter lack of vanity. He strove to thoroughly understand matters before him and avoided rashness, baseless accusations, or slander. He kept himself free from malice, fear, and suspicion. His life was marked by simplicity, modest living, a plain diet, minimal needs. He endured hardship without complaint and welcomed correction from others if they could offer better guidance. Let his example prepare you for your final hour, so that you too may face it with a clear conscience. Awaken your mind and dispel illusions, shaking off the remnants of sleep. See this world and its trappings as no different from the fleeting images in a dream, realizing the illusions we cling to are but shadows. I am composed of body and soul. To my body, all external matters are indifferent. It cannot favor one thing over another. As for my mind, it is indifferent to all that lies outside its control, choosing only to engage with what is present, for past and future actions hold no sway over it. Just as a foot fulfills its role by carrying the body or a hand by performing its work, so a person, as long as he performs what is proper to his nature, cannot act against it. Therefore, whatever effort is natural to you cannot harm you. If happiness lay solely in pleasure, then why would some of the most notorious figures, thieves, adulterers, parricides, and tyrants appear to enjoy such measures of satisfaction? Consider the diligence of even those who practice the most basic trades. Though limited in knowledge, they are fully committed to their craft. Shouldn't we, who possess reason, take even greater care to uphold our nature, which we share with the divine? Asia, Europe, what are they but mere corners of the vast world? The whole sea a drop, Mount Athos a mere clod, and time a single point in eternity. All things are small, fleeting, ever-changing. Everything has its origin in either divine intention or necessary consequence. Even a lion's roar, a serpent's venom, or the thorn's sting are but aspects of a greater order. Look beyond appearances to the wellspring from which all things arise. He who perceives the present perceives all that has been and all that will be, for all things are of one kind and nature. Reflect often on the interconnectedness of the universe, the harmony among all things, for each is interwoven, folded within the other, binding them into a cohesive whole. Accept the circumstances apportioned to you by fate, and embrace those with whom you share your journey, showing them genuine love. A tool, well made for its purpose, serves even if its maker is absent. But in natural beings, the creating force remains ever present, and thus they merit our respect. If we live in harmony with nature's purpose, all is well with us. When you regard things outside your control as either good or bad, you invite turmoil. Should you miss what you deem good, or endure what you see as bad, you will blame the gods and resent others. But if you focus only on what is within your power, you have no reason to fault the gods or any person. We all contribute to the grand order, some willingly, some unknowingly. Even those who murmur or resist are, in their way, cooperating. Consider how you wish to participate, as one who understands the whole, or as one who blindly resists. The administrator of all will use you regardless, for even the dissenting voice serves his purpose. Yet choose not to be the incongruent part of the whole, like a discordant verse in a play. Does the sun attempt to do the rain's work? Does Asclepius encroach upon the roll of the earth? Each star performs its unique task, yet all contribute harmoniously toward a single end. If the gods have planned each event in detail, trust in their wisdom, for how could they intend harm to you? If they are wise and discreet, they would not cause suffering without purpose. But if they have not considered your affairs in particular, surely they have done so in general, and your part aligns with this larger order. But if there were no divine plan at all, a thought too irreligious to entertain, then even so, be grateful that you can chart your own course, guided by reason and in keeping with the needs of society. Whatever happens to any individual benefits the whole. It is enough to know that every event serves a larger purpose. If you are mindful, you will perceive this truth, even if such events are commonly thought of as neutral, like health or wealth, rather than true goods, like familiar scenes on a stage that become tiresome. All events in life repeat, coming from the same sources and yielding the same outcomes. When, then, will it end? Reflect on the passing of so many lives, of so many professions and places. Consider each successive generation, from ancient orators and philosophers to the heroes of old, and ask yourself, what harm do they suffer now? Even those whose names have faded, what do they lack? The one enduring task we have is to live virtuously and gently among all, whether they are just or unjust. When you seek comfort, recall the virtues of those around you. One may embody industriousness, another modesty, a third generosity. Let the sight of others' virtues, even if fleeting, give you solace and encouragement. Do you resent weighing only so many pounds, rather than 300? If so, then it is equally irrational to grieve over a life's limited span. Just as you accept your physical limits, so should you accept the time allotted to you. Persuade others to act justly, yet proceed even if they resist. If force opposes you, shift your efforts from justice to patience, embracing whatever obstacle arises as an opportunity to practice a new virtue. Remember always to adjust your desires, holding in reserve the possibility that what you seek may lie beyond your control. This ability to moderate yourself lies fully within your power, no matter the circumstances. The ambitious see happiness in fame, the hedonist in pleasure, but the wise find it only in virtuous action. You alone have the power to reject any thought, along with the grief it brings. For external things themselves cannot enforce belief. They only acquire meaning through the thoughts we attach to them. When someone speaks to you, listen intently. Let not your mind wander, but instead fix your attention wholly upon their words and intent. What is not beneficial for the hive cannot be beneficial for the bee. Do passengers question their safety if the ship is well piloted? Do patients worry when their physician cures them? In either case, they simply trust in the skill and care of the one in charge. How many who came into this world when I did are already gone? To the jaundiced, honey tastes bitter. To those bitten by mad dogs, water appears terrifying. To children, a ball seems magnificent. Why then should I be angered by human errors? Can mistaken beliefs not sway people as powerfully as poison, causes rage, or sickness brings about delusion. No one can prevent you from living in accord with your nature, nor can any event disturb the common good. Consider who people strive to please, what they wish to obtain, and by what actions they pursue it. Reflect on how soon time will sweep away and bury all things, as it has already done to countless others.